Hi Oak Class, today's Thursday, so today will be your second literacy lesson of the week. And today we're going to be focusing on writing an explanation text about what plants need to grow. What do you think an explanation text might be? An explanation text is a non-fiction text, which means it has facts and it's based on real life, that tells us how something works or why something works. For example, it could be about the water cycle, or as the one we're going to look at in a minute is about, it could be about healthy eating or your diet. So there are lots of things that it could be about. The one we're going to be writing today will be about plants, and using the information that you've learnt in the past week about plants and how they grow, and putting it all into one text so that someone who maybe doesn't know what a plant needs to grow can read it and find out. So let's look at an example of an explanation text and look into it in a bit more detail so that we know what we need to write.
So this is our example explanation text, and it's called How Can We Stay Healthy? You might want to have your own version printed off so that you can follow along with me as I'm reading, and then afterwards we're going to annotate it together. That means go through it with a highlighter or a pen and spot some of the features that we might want to have in our own explanation text when we write it. How can we stay healthy? There are lots of things we can do to stay healthy and to keep illnesses away. Changing what we eat and how much we exercise can help us to improve our health. Read on for lots of useful facts and tips to help you be the healthiest you can be. Food and drink. All living things need food and drink to survive. The type of food we eat and the types of drinks we have are important. Food types. There are 6 groups of food. These are fruit and vegetables, starchy foods, meat, dairy, fats, and sugary foods. Some of these foods are better for us than others. Fruit and vegetables and starchy food. Fruit, vegetables, and starchy foods are very good for us because they contain vitamins and minerals. Vitamins and minerals help our bones, skin, and muscles to stay strong and healthy. We should try to include these in every meal and to eat them as snacks. You could swap your chocolate snack for a crunchy apple or try a juicy pear. Meat and dairy. Meat and dairy food like cheese and milk are also good for us, but we shouldn't eat these more than 2 or 3 times a day. Meat and dairy foods help us to have strong bones and muscles. A cold glass of milk with your breakfast or lunch is a good choice. Sugary and fatty foods. Foods like chocolate and cake are yummy, but they are very high in sugar and fat. This kind of food isn't good for us. These foods should only be eaten as a treat no more than once a day. Did you know sugary treats are bad for your health, bad for your teeth? You shouldn't eat these too much and you should try to eat them at meal times. Healthy plate. A healthy meal should have more fruit, vegetables, and starchy food than anything else. The diagram below shows how much of each kind of food should be on your plate. Drinks. The best drinks for staying healthy are water and milk. Fruit juices can be good for us, but they can have a lot of sugar in them. Fizzy drinks are not good for us at all. Exercise. To stay healthy, our bodies also need exercise. Exercise helps to keep our muscles strong. Children should have at least 60 minutes of exercise a day. What kind of exercise? Lots of the fun things you already do are good exercise. Your heart should beat faster and you should be a bit breathless when you exercise. Some exercises you could try are riding a scooter, walking a dog, playing tag in your school's playground, playing football, playing hockey, bouncing on a trampoline, and dancing. Remember to use the right safety equipment and to exercise carefully. Staying fit and well doesn't have to be difficult. You will be well on your way to staying healthy if you eat the right things and move more. How wonderful it is to feel healthy. Okay, so now I'm going to get a printed off copy of this text and we'll go through it together and see which features we can spot.
Okay, sorry about the dodgy lighting. Hopefully you can see how I've managed to put up the text on this, actually a picture frame here. But get your highlighters at the ready and we're going to go through it and point out some of the features of this example explanation text. So, the first thing we can spot here, I'm going to use my green highlighter, is the title. What do you notice about the title? It's a question. So I'm going to write question title. And what could we call this first paragraph here? This first paragraph, there are lots of things we can do to stay healthy and to keep illnesses away. Changing what we eat and how much we exercise can help us to improve our health. Read on for lots of useful facts and tips to help you be the healthiest you can be. That is what we call an introduction. So the introduction helps to introduce what we're talking about. So we're introducing our topic. And the words that give us a clue about what our topic is going to be, can you spot them? So stay healthy is one of them. Sorry if you can't see this, I know they're quite faint colours. What we eat, that tells you what our topic is going to be about. And exercise and improve our health, they all tell us what the text is going to be about in our introduction. And this part here, I'm going to see if I can do this in a different colour. Let's do a nice blue. Read on. What is that telling you to do? Well, it's telling you to read on, but it's quite a bossy phrase, isn't it? Read on. It's telling you what to do. And this part here, useful facts and tips. This is an expanded noun phrase, isn't it? It hasn't just said read on for lots of facts and tips. It's used the word useful, so it's used an adjective to make you even more likely to carry on reading, because it sounds a lot more interesting, doesn't it? Expanded noun phrase. Okay, what of all of these sentences in bold here, or these phrases in bold, can you remember what those are called? We've seen them in lots of other types of texts too, especially non-fiction texts like this. I'm going to underline all of these in orange. These are called subheadings, so I'm going to draw an arrow here. Subheadings. So these introduce our paragraphs, and it helps to make the text really nice and organised so that when you're looking at it, you can look straight at the headings and know what you're about to read about. So if these are subheadings, what would our main title up here be called? That would be our heading. So when we read the different paragraphs, what can we spot? All living things need food and drink to survive. The type of food we eat and the types of drinks we have are important. There are 6 groups of food. These are fruit and vegetables, starchy foods, meat, dairy, fats and sugary foods. Some of these foods are better for us than others. It has to include facts, so I'm going to get a red pen here, and let's see if we can spot all of the facts that are in these couple of paragraphs. So you get your highlighter out and follow along with me. See if you can get even more facts than what I get. So this first bit, all living things need food and drink to survive, that's a fact, isn't it? It's science, we know that that's definitely true. There are 6 groups of food. We can tell that's a fact because it's given us the number of groups. And this is a fact here, some of these foods are better for us than others. So see if you can read on and find any more facts that are in that text. So when we look at the text as a whole, can you spot anything on the page that we might want to include in our own explanation text? I spotted this here. So it's used a picture. Why might we want to use a picture in our own explanation texts? Well, a picture makes it look a bit more interesting, doesn't it? It gives a pop of colour on the page, so it's not just lots of words, because I know you probably find that a lot more interesting when you're reading as well. So explanation texts often have a picture to help us explain something. So for example, this paragraph here is talking about fruits and vegetables and starchy food. So the picture next to it is of fruits and vegetables. And the final thing we can notice is that the text is split into really organised paragraphs. So it's not all one huge block of text. Each section here, I'm going to get my pen and split them up. So this is one paragraph, and this is one paragraph, and this is one paragraph. You might not be able to see what I just did at the bottom there. Let's see if I can move this. So an explanation text is put into sections or paragraphs. Okay, let's talk about what tense is this text written in. So let's read the first paragraph again. There are lots of things we can do to stay healthy and to keep illnesses away. Changing what we eat and how much we exercise can help us to improve our health. Read on for lots of useful facts and tips to help you be the healthiest you can be. Food and drink. All living things need food and drink to survive. The type of food we eat and the types of drinks we have are important. Can you tell what tense that is? If we try and spot some verbs, some action words in this text, we can see there are lots of things we can do. Can you spot any more? Well, there's this one, read, and to keep. Are these verbs in the present tense or the past tense? They're in the present tense. So that's the tense that we would want to be writing our explanation text in. Did you notice that it says you a lot as well? What colour should I use for this one? Let's use green. I haven't used a lot of green. So here, read on for lots of useful facts and tips to help you be the healthiest you can be. And it's even got a we. Food we eat. So when we're writing an explanation text, we want to use we and you and us are called pronouns. And when we're writing an explanation text, we want to be talking about we and you and us because we're addressing the text to someone else who wants to get information from us.
When it comes to writing our own explanation text, we want to start with our title. Our text is going to be about what plants need to grow. How can we make that into a question title for our explanation text? What about what do plants need to grow? I think that's a good example of one. And remember that an explanation text is divided into different paragraphs which each have a subheading. So some subheadings that you might want to include in your explanation text might be water, because plants need water to grow, sunlight. What else? Can you think of any? Soil and temperature. So let's have a look at the water subheading. What might we want to write about the water that plants need to grow? So we could start with, for seeds to grow into a healthy plant, they will need just the right amount of water. And remember, you can't put too much or too little water in, so how might you write that? You must not give the plant too much water, comma, or it will not grow. So have a go at the other headings, maybe try and add some more if you think you can. You'll have lots of resources to help you write this text. You've got the knowledge organiser from Tuesday's lesson that should help you, and you should have a word bank and some example sentences for you as well.
Okay, hopefully that made sense. I really look forward to reading all of your explanation texts. This is Digby. He wanted to say hello before I finish my video. And he says good luck with writing your explanation texts. Bye bye!